Hello, my name is Dr. Ben Littlepage, and I will be your instructor for PSE 710. I'm excited that you're taking this course. If you desire to be an administrator in post-secondary education, a formidable understanding for higher ed law and practice is important, and I think it will stay with you throughout your career. So whether you're at a middle stage in your career and you're looking for advancement, or where you're an emerging practitioner, I believe that this course will be applicable to you. So really, when you think about higher ed law, there's a number of different ways that you can approach learning this subject. I've taught this course a few times, and I believe we have a pretty logical approach to introducing the concept. Really, the purpose of the course is to examine legal issues relevant to post-secondary education and provide leaders with a fundamental knowledge of higher ed law that they can put into practice. And so we're going to be looking at key legal principles that impacts practice. We're going to be looking at governance. We're going to be looking at topics like academic freedom, affirmative action, other legal issues pertinent to faculty, staff, and students. And what I want you to be able to leave this course with is an understanding for basic legal concepts and terminology. And an awareness for what resources are out there. An understanding for structure as it pertains to the law and governance. And most importantly, the ability to apply these legal concepts. So I've adopted a very large textbook. And when you get this text, you're probably like, why in the world did he adopt something so large? And the reason why, when I was first introduced to the Kaplan and Lee book, I was overwhelmed as well. Because there are a number of different books out there on higher ed law. The reason why I continue to look at the Kaplan and Lee book is because it's a reference. It continues to be a reference. When I had the course in my post-baccalaureate programs, when I had higher ed law courses in my post-baccalaureate programs, I would always keep the text so that when I was an administrator and I needed some kind of reference, I could always turn to my Kaplan and Lee book. And I hope that you will consider doing the same. I know it's tempting at the end of the semester to sell back your books. This is one of the ones you'll want to keep as an administrator, because I believe that you'll go back and reference it. I'm very judicious in terms of what you read. I know your time is valuable. And so I'm not having you read the entire book, because there's parts of the book that just really aren't pertinent to the purposes of this class. So I have selected page numbers that I feel like are relevant. If you want to read beyond those, then please go ahead. But I've selected page numbers that I feel like are most relevant to your learning and the learning outcomes for this course. I do encourage you to take time and dive into the Canvas course shell. You'll see that each week we have a module specific for that week. And that course module will contain assigned readings, which I've kind of alluded to, supplemental videos and supplemental readings, case briefings and opinions. It'll also include an audio file. Sometimes these audio files are as short as 4 minutes, and other times they're 11, 12 minutes. And really, these audio files represent my reflection over the weekly reading. I would encourage you, unlike maybe other audio files that you've listened to, I would encourage you to stop and give your undivided attention. I know it's tempting. sometimes when you see that audio file to kind of, do other chores or do other task while you're listening to the audio file, but I would encourage you to give it your undivided attention. They're not long. Maybe even take some notes along the way, because typically what I point out in the audio file is something that you should be aware of before you read that weekly assigned reading. Feel free to take notes when you listen to the audio file. But I've been very careful as to what we put in each of the weekly modules. Again, when I say supplemental, you don't have to look at it, but I believe that it would be worth your time, and you can get as much in and out of this course as you want. But I try to put videos in there, the audio files, the assigned readings, because I realize that all of us learn differently. We all have different learning styles. And so some of these resources that I put in the module may be more beneficial to you than others. In terms of the assignments, there are really only two types of assignments. There are a couple quizzes. You'll take a quiz over FERPA and Title IX. Some of you may be employed and required to do this already. The majority of the course is, course assignments are discussion board forums. I go back to the application of these legal concepts. You're going to be introduced to a lot, and I want you to definitely read all the assigned readings. But being able to apply what you learn to cases of the recent past are important. And so a number of the discussion prompts will include real-life case studies. Just about all of them include real-life case studies. And so I'm interested to see how you respond to these situations. Typically, I ask you to only respond to one or two classmates. You can feel free to respond to more. There may be some where you respond to everybody. But I'm interested in how you respond. And then sometimes I even ask you to take positions just to provide an opposing opinion to classmates, just to get you to think. With each discussion board assignment, I will grade it and I will provide you feedback. Sometimes it's for you to think about things that you may not have considered. Maybe it's in agreement, but for you to expand on a particular point when you're thinking about this particular legal concept. So after it's graded, please make sure you take a look at my feedback as well, because hopefully that'll contribute to your learning. There is a rubric for the discussion board post that you should definitely take a look at. But again, I'm excited that you're in this course. I think it'll be beneficial to you. The higher ed law courses that I took in graduate school and in my doc program were highly beneficial to me as an administrator. I was an administrator for 9 years at various institutional types, and there wasn't a day that went by that something didn't pertain to governance or the law. And so it's just an important class to take, and I think you'll benefit from it. One thing that you'll learn pretty quickly about me is that I'm accessible. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please approach me. My job is to guide you through this experience, and I'm excited about that. I hope you enjoy the course, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Take care.